This is Andi Purewal, Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by legendary cut man Jacob Stitch Duran. Jacob, how are you?
All right, come on, man. We're here on the balcony looking at the ocean in Miami. Life ain't too bad right now.
I can agree with that one. And as obviously we're here in Miami, when you first started out working across for sport and obviously MMA, did you ever envisage you would come to a place like this, working on a card like this?
Well, I've been a lot of great places, working these type of shows and all that, but never with a guy like Gib. And that's what makes this more of a fun journey. Though it's still a job, but it's a fun journey. And this kid's hilarious, man. I've learned so much off of him, and he's learned so much from us on what he has to do to go out there and fight. So I'm impressed. I'm a big fan of his.
What's it like, obviously, working with Gib in comparison to the world champions and the numerous names that you've worked with across various sports? What's it like working with a YouTuber in AnEsonGib?
That's a great question, because when I first met him, I first started wrapping his hands, and he didn't even know who I was. So it lets me know, well, he's not boxing knowledge, but as the weeks went on, I tell you what, he really turned in, because I told him, you're not a YouTuber no more. You're a fighter. You're a boxer. That's why you're in Las Vegas. And he made that transformation, man. It really surprised me. I'm impressed with him.
What's it like to work with him? We've seen he's very active. He's hyper. He wants to jump around a lot. Brilliant to see somebody so enthusiastic. But what's it like for you as a cut man trying to work with him, and obviously Vidal as his trainer and so on?
Well, it's definitely a great team, but this is the new side of Gib that I haven't seen.
Okay.
When we've been in the gym, he's been quiet. He's done everything without complaining, just quiet and focused and all that. I'm having a good time just listening with his interviews. He's a character. I told him he took the Gib face off, he put the YouTube Gib face on, and but it's marketing 101, and it's a good opportunity for all of us to be here.
Has it surprised you at all at just how well he seems to have taken to boxing, and how serious he's taken the more professional side to things now in comparison to maybe his two previous bouts? I know you weren't involved in those camps, but has he surprised you how serious he's taken it?
You know what? The transformation has been tremendous. When I was telling him, when you first got here, I had doubts. I'm looking at him and all that, but in the 4 weeks that he spent in Las Vegas, he literally made a 360. And this kid, I call him the British Rocky Balboa. Because in one round, in the third round, he threw like 122 punches. So he won't stop throwing punches, and his technique, Vidal has done a tremendous job. Leon has done a tremendous job in making him a boxer. So I expect a real good performance of him. And I think the fans are going to love it also.
Obviously, on his last two fights that he's previously had, we've seen he likes to come forwards a lot. He likes to kind of throw as much as he can. How has Vidal kind of gone about trying to nurture that kind of technique and be a bit more subtle with his style?
Yeah, good questions, brother. I like that. Vidal, and I told him when we were working with KSI, he's 22 years old, but he has the boxing mentality of an elder. And he's an excellent coach. So getting to that point of his style of fighting, coming in just throwing punches and bunches and really no technique behind it, we're going to keep that. We're not going to lose that aggressiveness. But now he is showing them angles. He's showing them when you throw the right hand, when you throw the body shot, when you throw the hook. So now he has a vision of what he was doing before, was just doing it on pure heart and soul. Now he has a vision that Vidal and Leon had put into him, where he has a fighting style.
Does it surprise you, when you mention Vidal, he's only really just started out with his own professional career. Does it surprise you just how well he seems to have taken to the coaching side?
I tell Vidal all the time, I'm impressed with you, and I told him last night, you have the mentality literally of a veteran, and but he comes from a boxing family. He's talking about his sister. She could tell you every technique and every move, and so he comes from that background, but to have the common sense and to really be at the top level, I got to give him credit. 22 years old, he's doing a great job.
You worked on the KSI fight against Logan Paul as well. What comparisons can you make between KSI and Gib?
Well, when I started working with KSI, his athleticism was so much better. He was an athlete coming in. Gib, not so much. He always talked about he was a fat kid and all that, but look at that transformation. But technique-wise, they both worked hard. I got to give Gib credit for working a little bit harder than KSI, even though KSI did a great job. I thought that when he fought Logan Paul, it was a fight of the night.
You've obviously worked with numerous world champions. What's it like though now with regards to the pressure? Do you feel less pressure on you working with somebody like Gib or KSI, because for them boxing isn't a career, obviously they have their own things going on? Or do you feel just as much pressure as you would when you was working with Andre Ward, working with Tyson Fury now, or the Klitschko's?
Yeah, no, every fighter I work with, including Gib, I treat them like they're world champions, and you should treat them like they're world champions, But no, the nervousness and all that, it's routine for me. It's I already have a system down. But as the elder, every time I wrap Gib's hands every day, it's like you and I just separated. I'm wrapping his hands, and I give him advice as what I know in the boxing game on the mental side, the physical side, and so I school him. There's times and places for me to come and let him know what is right, and the times when I know it's right, I'll give Gib the advice that he needs.
On those occasions when you are wrapping his hands, when you have him one-to-one, what kind of insight have you been able to get out of Gib and what he's like as a person?
But I tell you, he was real quiet during the gym, very humble, very quiet, and I'm seeing a new Gib here. He just turned it on, but as a disciplined fighter, he was very, very disciplined. But like I say, very, very humble, very respectful, and not once. That's the thing that I got to give a lot of credit to. Not once did he complain about the hard work that Vidal and Leon were putting him through, and they were putting him in through some work. And so, yeah, two different Gibs, man. So,
have you watched any of his YouTube videos?
I haven't. No, I haven't. But just looking at him, I'm going to go back and I am going to check him out. So it's a whole new different world for me.
I mean, you just mentioned it's a whole new different world for a lot of people. Obviously, seeing this crossover now, YouTube stars coming into boxing. When the first set of bouts started to come out, especially in the UK, what was your thoughts on it? Did you think it was good or bad for boxing? Because it's divided opinion amongst many, but what was your initial opinion on it?
Well, I still think that when it comes, I'm a big man on marketing. Marketing is so key. That's why I always try to promote myself and sponsors and all that, and make yourself visible. But I think Matchroom Boxing and DAZN did a masterpiece when it came to marketing to bring in KSI and Logan Paul, and you could see the results. The results were phenomenal, and yeah, of course, you bring them in, but then you bring them in to work with people that are in the system, that know the system, to take care of these fighters. And like KSI and Gib to bring me in to be their cut man and take care of them. To me, it means a lot. But I think it was a great job that these guys have done. So if this one kicks off as good as the last one, then I would expect another one. Maybe Antonio Brown and Logan Paul.
Well, that one was rumoured. There's also rumours that if Jake Paul was to be successful, he might face KSI. Something that you'd be interested in working on again? That's obviously if it was to happen.
Oh, you're talking about with KSI? Yeah, I heard people talking about. Of course, it's this is fun. It's entertaining, and it's the only way to go. So of course, I'm with KSI all the way. If he's going to fight again, I'm covering his back.
What are your thoughts on Jake Paul? Then obviously he's teamed up with Sugar Shane Mosley. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's funny because Gib just brought up a point. Where's Shane Mosley at? And as I look at the camps, and one of my things through experience, I look at him and looking at Gib's camp, me, myself, Leon, all these guys, Vidal, we're all relaxed and all that. And you look at Jake Paul and their team, they're all real intense and all that. And so I see that, but Shane Mosley wasn't there. So to me, that's such an important part of the promotion that he should have been here. So it lets me know, number one, he's not a trainer. He's a boxer, and usually because you're a boxer doesn't make you a good trainer. We'll see what kind of work that Shane Mosley put into Jake Paul. And then I always look at the corners and see who the cut man is, and see who the third guy is, and that's how I evaluate how good this fighter has been trained opposed to how good this fighter's been trained. So those are the little things I look at, little kinks in the armor.
Obviously this fight takes place on Thursday night. How does that kind of alter or change preparations on fight week? Usually you'd be preparing for Saturday. You've got 2 days less to try and the last little bit of weight you might need to lose, etc. How does it change your plans and preparation?
Really, the plan hasn't changed. Just a couple of days earlier, right? So Vidal, being the master that he is, scheduled everything according to us fighting on Thursday, and even the training, was based on about the time that we'll be fighting. So that's been taken care of.
And obviously away from this fight, you've also teamed up with Tyson Fury for his next match against Deontay Wilder in February. Talk to me about how that came about and the decision to team up with Tyson.
Oh, you want an exclusive, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk, man. Come on. All right, so, I'll start from the beginning. So let's say a month ago, Kevin Barry, that's a trainer, trained some of the Joseph Parker and all these guys. He called me in because they were talking to Bob Arum in his office regarding, I think, Guido, another fighter that they had. But Bob Arum asked him, what do you think about Stitch as a cut man? And he says, there's no other. So Kevin called me and said, hey, man, the discussion, you're in the name, the discussion. So then I get another call from another guy, Amir Abdallah, actually, that works with KSI and Gib here. He says, hey, man, Frank works with Top Rank. He asked me what I thought about Stitch as a cut man. He goes, it's the only number I have. So those were the things that people threw at me, but I've been in this game long enough to know that unless something happens, it's going to happen. But they set me up to meet with him last Tuesday and at the training. So I went there. Bob Arum was there, and I walk up to Tyson Fury and he puts out his hand. He says, hey, welcome to the team right off the bat. And I said, wow, so we talked about the cut. We looked at the cut, and, I told him some of the things that I'll be doing, and for the most part, it'd be preventive maintenance. I don't wait till something happens. I said, so I'll keep ice on you and just make sure that we minimize any possibilities of that cut opening. And if it does open, then don't worry about it because I'll control it. So we went through those steps already, and then, he's training, and then I was there again Thursday, and I told him I was going to be here with Gib, and of course he wished Gib all the best. So when I get back, I'll be in the gym on a regular basis. But Bob Arum is the one that kind of said, we want Stitch in the corner, and Tyson Fury agreed. Okay, and real quick, let me add that Jorge Capetillo, that was the cut man for Tyson Fury first. He's a good friend of mine, but he's the one that said, he knows, he was kind of put into a spot that he wasn't accustomed to, and that's working a lot of cuts. But he told Tyson Fury, he said, you know what, man, I'm not really, I think Stitch is better to handle this fight than me. So I think that was admirable on his part, is to go out there and say, you know what, here's my limits. And I love you as a friend because they're real close together. That it's best if you get Stitch Duran. So that's how it came to be, man, and I'm looking forward to it.
What's been your thoughts on Tyson in the gym? How's he been looking ahead of February 22nd?
I'll tell you what, man, he's a beast. I was impressed with him when I worked with Vladimir Klitschko. When he beat Vladimir, I thought Vladimir had a bad day, And I was telling Tyson, I said, but I saw you fight Deontay Wilder, and at that point, I knew you were a master of what you did, but he's looking tremendous in the gym. Sparring partners, he's poking them real good, and just his defense is tremendous and all that. So
just I know you've got to show off because we've just been told, but how weird or different was it working with Tyson now, knowing you worked with Vladimir against Tyson?
Yeah, well, I've worked with so many. I've done that so many times. Where in the MMA, where I'll be wrapping your hands and working with this fighter. So it's common for me. But whoever I work with, I always give them 150% of my time.
And finally, before I do let you go, you obviously gave us a couple of T-shirts the other day. You was generous to donate them, and we'll be doing a giveaway across Boxing Socials channels. You just want to tell everybody about the new setup that you've got ahead of our little giveaway?
Yeah, one more round. That's a sponsor I had when I was with the UFC, and of course, when the UFC let me go and they lost all their sponsors, one more round kind of fizzled out. And when I did KSI fight, Mark Zucker, the owner, saw me working the fight, and it kind of rekindled him. So we teamed up, and we created One More Round, which is an apparel company. Once again, because everybody thought it was my company, and my job is to give that fighter one more round. So one more round's going to be here. Actually, you got the first one.
You want to try and show
you literally got the first ones. These came hot off the press right before I came into Miami. So you literally got the first one. So thank you for the support.
Thank you for your time. I know you've got to shoot off. Best of luck with the camp, and I'll catch up with you later in the week. Thank you for speaking Boxing Social.
Anytime. It's always a pleasure. Thanks, man. Good job.